everyone, and welcome to the call. This is Julia. I'm just going to give a few minutes because I can still see people joining the call via Skype and via the phone. So I'm just going to give it a few more minutes while people join. I know I have people joining from the UK, people joining from the Caribbean, people joining from Chicago. So everybody's just getting settled in. So I'll just give it a few more minutes and we can jump into the content. So if you're on the line and you can hear me, if you're listening via phone, you can press star 2 to raise your hand to ask a question. And if you are via Skype, you can do exactly the same thing, star 2 on your Skype keypad. Or you can type your question in the box if you are on the web, and I will get the question coming into me. So I'm just going to hold on a few seconds. Okay, it's now about 6 minutes past 8 in the UK, so I'm going to get started with the content. Right. I know there are a few people who are new to me and new to my work. I'm Julia Bernard Thompson. Some people call me the Income Alchemist, and I help my clients double and triple their income by adding high-end offers such as VIP days, intensives, or retreats to their business. And by high-end, I mean a package that you can offer anywhere from £2,500 or more per client. In my particular experience, I tend to specialize in helping my clients create packages that are worth £5,000 or more. And I will give you a little bit of background as to how I come to be doing this kind of work, especially if you are new to me. So, like I said just now, I teach my clients how to create more income in their business and, by extension, more freedom to do the things that they really want to do by adding VIP days, intensives, and retreats and other high-end packages. Because I know that VIP days, intensives, and retreats tend to be the preference for coaches and consultants and healers and people in that line of work. But I have clients who are not in that line of work. I have clients who are makeup artists, beauty therapists, web designers, and they want a special kind of high-end offer, and it is entirely possible. I have wedding planners, event planners. It is entirely possible to add an offer that you can give to your clients at the £3,000 per client mark, and I confidently say it to any business. So a few years ago, 4 years ago actually, I transitioned from a corporate career to business creating and selling luxury packages, and I was quite happily paid sometimes more than £5,000 per client. And what I learned was that even though your clients may say, this is not something that I want, it's not something that I'm interested in, it is entirely possible to create an offer to package your services in such a way that they want to buy it. Now, don't get me wrong, I did have those moments in the early days when I remember one particular incident. I'd created my first £10,000 package and I was really confident, and I offered it to a big organization, and they turned me down cold. And what I did was I went back to the drawing board. Yes, I was disappointed. It happens. I went back to the drawing board and I applied what I knew from my profiling days. And when I say my profiling days, some of you on the call may know, but some of you may not, so I will share. I actually did my master's in forensics and forensic science. So a big part of that course was learning how to read people and read patterns and basically understand human behavior and understand human characteristics. And I'm sure you've watched the programs on TV where, you know, they have to say, oh, well, what has this person done and why have they done it and what crime are they likely to commit again. And I actually had done that sort of work, but for corporates, and I learned to spot trends and habits and buying patterns to know what companies would buy next, and that's what big organizations had paid me to do. So that's what I used in my business, because I looked at what my clients' needs were and had to, I had the skills to know what they would buy next, what they would pay for, what they would respond favorably to. And I went back with my £10,000 package, and even though a big corporation had turned it down, I offered it on a private one-to-one basis to an individual, and they bought it with no questions asked. So I share that because I've been in the spot of thinking that, oh my gosh, nobody might buy this, but then once I applied the principles, and that's what I'm going to teach you, part of what I'm going to teach you on the call, it absolutely does work, and you can enroll people into high-end offers on a one-to-one basis once you give them what they want to buy. So I always like to share that story just to reassure you that it can be done, and, my tagline is, somebody wants what you have to give, you just need to know the right way to give it. So we are together for the next 60 minutes or so, including time for questions. Those of you who have been on my training calls before will know that I'm not one to just drag on the call unnecessarily. I give you really good content, and then, I also give you time to ask questions, and sometimes people like to process things and ask questions and then come back and post the questions up on the Facebook page, which is perfectly fine if you don't want to ask the questions tonight. But if you do want to ask your question, you can either type it in the Q&A box and it will come through, or you can press *2 to raise your hand, and I will know that you're there and I will take your question. And it means it gives you a chance to get your question answered live and get a little bit of coaching live on the call if it is that you are ready to add a VIP day, a retreat, or an intensive, or another high-end package to your business. So that's what I'm going to share over the next 60 minutes, how to create a high-end offer that your clients want to buy. So if you want to be able to earn more per client during the week so that you can spend time with your family or just do whatever it is, and I say during the week, but however you schedule your working week, and you want to be able to spend more time doing the things that really, get you excited other than your business, then this is the bit that I really want you to pay attention to. So I'm just going to have a quick drink of water, and it gives you a chance to grab your pen and paper. I like to do it old school with pen and paper. Grab your pen and paper and get ready to take notes, because I'm going to take you through the content. Okay? So I'm just going to grab a sip of water. And if you've got your pen and paper ready, then let's go. So there are 4 pieces to the process when it comes to creating a high-end offer that your clients want to buy. And the 4 pieces are: step 1, prospects, identifying who your ideal client is, so who will buy your high-end offer. Step 2 is positioning, so where does your offer sit within your industry? This is not about comparing what you offer to someone else, because when we go into the rest of the call, you will see why this becomes almost irrelevant. But it is about looking at where your high-end offer sits, so you position yourself as an expert in your industry. So that's when I say positioning, what I mean. Step 3 is the package. What to include, how to know what to include, and how to make it attractive so that your clients are happy to pay anywhere from £2,500, and of course if you're listening in from the US and you bill in dollars, and I mean dollars or whatever your currency is, anywhere up to £10,000 plus, as I've done in my own case. And that's where the packaging bit comes in. And then step 4 is the profit and pricing piece, where you price your offer to make it easy for your clients to buy. And you might be thinking, Julia, how on earth am I going to make something at £3,000 or £5,000 easy for someone to buy? And trust me, it is entirely possible to do. So for tonight, we're going to be focusing on step 3. So the package, what to include to make your offer attractive. What do you include in your VIP day? What do you include in your intensive? What do you include in your retreat? What do you include in your premium web design offering that will make your clients go, yes, please, I want to buy that, and they're more than happy to pay you a premium rate to do so. Why we're not going to be focusing on all 4 steps is because, one, we only have 60 minutes, and this is usually content that I would take my clients through in a day, in a VIP, a one-to-one setting. But I really want you to be able to implement what we cover tonight, and that's why I'm going to focus on the packaging piece, so that you have enough to go away and start making the changes that you need to make to your VIP day, your intensive, your retreat, your web design, whatever it is for you. I want you to have something that you can absolutely take away and start working on tonight or this evening if you're listening in from the U.S. and the Caribbean. So we're going to be focusing on step 3. And a little side celebration point. I had actually planned this call as part of the launch for my Price to Sell program, which is a 5-week online program that starts in November. And I had very excitedly planned this call to be part of the launch for Price to Sell. However, Price to Sell now has no more spaces available. But I really wanted to honor my commitment to people who had already signed up for the call and still give you the training so you can still go away and use it. And what I will do at the end of the call, because I really want to honor the fact that you've taken the time to be with me, is to let you know how you can take the next step either on your own and implement what you've learned tonight on your own, or if you would like to have some time with me, how you can do that. It won't be in the Price to Sell program, but I will make it very exciting for you at the end. And if you absolutely want to do the Price to Sell program, then I may have to have a waiting list for it. And as we go along, if the questions come in about it, then we can discuss a waiting list. But at this point, that isn't my intention for the call. So I'm celebrating the fact that Price to Sell, the places were gone even before I had a chance to tell someone, because that is something I've not had that before, and I have to admit, really excited about it. Okay, so we're going to jump straight into step 3 of the process, which is the package. So I said before, it's prospects, who your package is for, positioning, where your offer sits in the industry that you're in, so you position yourself as the expert with your offer. Step 3 is package, what to include. So we're going to look at the what to include bit now. So part 1, what kind of services are clients willing to pay premium rates for, which is always the question I get when people make inquiries. Julia, will somebody really buy this? Will somebody really buy makeup? Will somebody really buy web design? So what kind of services are clients willing to pay premium rates for? And I'm going to take you through what your package needs to have so that clients will happily pay premium rates for it. So the first part is it needs to solve a specific problem. And it might sound really obvious, but it is very easy as the one creating the package to get caught up in the process and use language like you help clients connect to their inner self, or you build websites that convert, or you help people feel confident in their clothes. Well, the thing is, those aren't specific enough that a client will readily go, oh, yes, I want to pay £3,000 for that, I want to pay £5,000 for that, or even I want to pay £10,000 for that. Because when they look around, they can see other people saying they build websites that convert, and then what happens is you end up being compared on pricing, because your clients or prospective clients are just going on the generic language that everybody else is using in your industry, so they don't see any reason to pay the higher fee to work with you. And I like to give examples so you can apply the example to your business and implement it straight away. And in order, clients will pay premium fees for specifics. So this is the sort of thing, when I say they will pay for specifics, they will pay for relief from chronic back pain caused by an epidural, or they will pay for a website specifically designed for authors who are launching their first book online, or they will pay to work with someone who helps women who wear a plus size, or you can even be more specific, a size 22 and up, be confident when they speak in front of groups on a stage. And I've just taken those examples because I wanted to show you that even though you're not a coach or a consultant or a therapist or any one of the industries where you will sort of think, oh, it's easy to have a VIP day, oh, it's easy to have a high-end package, it's easy to have an intensive, I'm using those examples to show you that it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can add a high-end offer to your business. So when you're packaging your high-end offer, it needs to solve a specific problem because clients pay for specific results. They won't pay for a generic result, and then you end up being compared for pricing across the market for pricing. Think of it, if you were buying red shoes and you just wanted red shoes, you'd just go and look online or look in the shops, and unless you needed something really specific in those red shoes, if you wanted red patent leather, for instance, you wanted red patent leather wedges, for instance, and I'm sorry if there are any guys on the call, but you know what I'm like. If you're part of my community, you know that my examples would involve shoes and clothes at some stage. So you pay for something specific. If you're a guy, you're going to pay for a custom fit navy suit. You're not going to just go into any department store and buy a suit off the rack. You're just going to look for the one that suits your budget. So that's the first thing, and that's really one of the main things when it comes to a high-end package. It needs to solve a specific problem. So the next item is, and I can still see people joining, so thank you so much. It's very exciting. And if you've just joined and you want to ask a question, when I open up for questions near the end, just press *2 to raise your hand, or you can, if you're on the webcast, you can type your questions into the Q&A box and it will come through. Okay. And I can see someone saying the Skype link isn't working, but they can hear me on the webcast, which is great. So I know everybody can hear me everywhere, which is fabulous. So I'm just going to continue now. So the second thing is, in addition to solving a specific problem, your high-end package, so we're talking specifically about VIP days, intensives, retreats, any other high-end offer that's been designed for your business, it needs to be simple. And by simple, I mean simple to buy and simple to use. So questions to ask yourselves. Can you make the time frame shorter for your clients to get results? For example, if you are a web designer, can you offer your clients the option to choose from a pre-made template? So that way you make it easy for them, you make it simple for them to say yes. Can you have a set of color palettes ready to go so that your clients can just choose a template from one of the sets you've created? They can just choose a color palette from what you've created, and that makes it simpler for them to say yes. Because it could be that you're designing websites for people like me who like everything to look really pretty, and I get very excited about design. So sometimes it's difficult for me to pick one out of too many options. But if I have 3, I can pick one. So that's when I say your high-end package needs to be simple to use. And this is especially if you're not a coach or you're not someone who works in that sort of industry or outside of that industry, and you still want to add a high-end package to your business. Another thing to consider, if, say, you're a makeup artist, can your high-end offer include pre-recorded video? So if you've put false eyelashes on, because I tell you what, I cannot put eyelashes on to save my life. Apologies again, any guys on the line. But if I go to a makeup artist for a VIP day to learn how to put false eyelashes on, among other things, when I go home, I want to see what it is they've done. So can your VIP day include a pre-recorded video so your clients can see what you did, and then they can know how to contour their face and put the eyelashes on and do all of those other things after they've been with you? And that's where I say make your high-end package, make it simple to use. Everything does not need to occur in that particular day. It doesn't all have to happen in that moment. It can happen in 2 parts, and that leads me on to the other point. Ask yourself, can you make it simpler? Can you deliver in 2 days? Can you deliver in 2 parts, rather? Can you have part done via phone or part done via worksheet and part done in person? High-end is about creating the space for your clients to really get the value of working with you. And I know we talk about VIP days, but you could offer a VIP day at the start of a longer project. It doesn't mean that the VIP day is the only space in which the client can work with you in a high-end way. Because if you know that working with you really needs 12 weeks for them to get the value of it, and you're selling a high-end 12-week package, then your VIP day is at the start of it. And I mentioned earlier on that price to sell, the spots have gone for price to sell, but in a few weeks' time, I'm going to be talking to people about your first 3 high-end clients program. And part of it is a VIP day with me at the start. So that's how you can also position a high-end offer of your own, deliver it in more than one section. The other thing to ask yourself is, can you make it virtual? Again, it doesn't all have to take place in the room, face-to-face, because people might want to work with you outside of your local area, and that might be overseas. Some of you know that I work with clients in the UK, and I work with clients in the Caribbean, and in October I will actually be in San Diego and New York. And sometimes my clients will work with me in person when I'm traveling. I travel about 4 or 5 times a year. And sometimes they will work with me virtually. They will have a half-day intensive via Skype because they may not be where I'll be traveling next, so they might be outside of the UK at a time when I have no plans to travel to the Caribbean, and they will still want to get the benefit. Is there a way you can make your VIP day, your intensive, virtual? Can you deliver part of it online? Can you deliver it via Skype? Can you deliver it via phone? What I want to encourage you to do is not to discount working with your clients virtually. I know people go, oh, Julia, I can't do this online. Yes, you can. There's all sorts of technology available now. One of my colleagues is an expert in Kajabi, and you can host anything on Kajabi. And if it is that you wanted to do pre-recorded sections for your clients, you can host them online, and your clients, in a way, have access to you whenever they need it, because some of that access is virtual. So sit down and make a list of all the ways you can make your package simpler, your high-end offer simpler. Can you pre-record some of it? Can you do it in more than one part? Can you make it virtual? The thing is, when clients are deciding to invest at a high level, and by high level I'm talking about £3,000, £5,000, £10,000, it needs to be an easy decision for them. It needs to be that they can clearly see, okay, this is what I need to go through to get the result that I want. And if that process is too complicated and too convoluted, it's just not going to happen. And it will make your high-end offer unattractive to premium clients, because when people want results and they're prepared to pay for the results, they want to have those results in the simplest format possible. So just excuse me for a second while I just take another sip of water. Thank you. Okay, so the next part of packaging is your high-end offer. So your VIP day needs to be clear. Your retreat, your intensive, your web design, it needs to be clear. Your high-end offer needs to be clear. And when I say clear, I mean clear on delivery and clear on outcomes. So when premium clients look at it, they need to look at it and know immediately how they have to use it and what they will get from using it that way. So clear on delivery and clear on outcomes. Will they lose 10 pounds in a week? Will they have a website in a week? Will they be able to do their own makeup for photo shoots? What's the clear outcome of your high-end package? So make sure it's crystal clear what your clients will get when they look at it. You know, I say sometimes it has to do what it says on the tin. And in packaging services, it's like putting a label around what you do, and that label needs to be clear. It's like when you go to the supermarket to buy jam, you see strawberry jam, raspberry jam, pineapple jam, mango jam if you're in the Caribbean. So it's clear. The labeling, the packaging is clear. You know when you pick that jar up and you open it, it's going to have strawberry jam. And that's exactly what your high-end offer needs to do. It needs to be that when clients look at it, they know exactly what they're going to get from it. They know what the outcome is. And I also said it needs to be clear on delivery. So do they have to set aside a month? Do they have to set aside 12 weeks? Do they have to set aside one day? What is the time frame required? Because you remember, you're asking people to commit to you, to work with you in an enhanced way, to have access to you more than they would have normally, so more than people working with you at your entry-level offer would be. And in order for them to feel confident and to trust you and to make that decision to invest their time, and this is even aside from the financial investment, to invest their time, because everybody goes, oh my gosh, I don't have the time, it has to be clear right from the start. The other thing with your high-end offer needing to be clear is that eventually you will start getting referred business. And I'm just going to talk on this as a side note. When you first start offering high-end packages, you need to have a sales funnel in place. You need to know how to describe the benefits of working with you in that particular way. You need to be able to invite people into a one-to-one conversation. You need to be able to, if this suits you, speak about your high-end offer from stage. And that happens at the start, and that happens even throughout, after you've been offering high-end packages consistently. However, there are going to be these fabulous moments when you get high-end referrals. And high-end referrals come when you've explained clearly the value of working with you, when you know how to articulate what your high-end package does, and when other clients who've worked with you on your high-end offer, so on your VIP day, on your intensive, on your retreat, will then say to their friends, actually, do this because it does X, Y, Z. It takes a month, but you really get the results in the month. So what happens then is you get more clients coming straight in to work with you at your high-end level. So imagine you get an email saying, such and such referred me, they worked with you on a VIP day, you helped them to lose 10 pounds that they've been carrying around for 3 years, and I've had this 10 pounds I've been carrying around for 3 years, and I want to do that same program. What do I need to do? Can I talk to you about it? Imagine getting emails like that. So all you do is you fix a time to have the conversation one-to-one. You make sure that your high-end package is a good fit, and there you go. You've just enrolled somebody so gently, so easily. There's none of the freaking out with, oh, my gosh, what am I going to say? Because your offer was clear to the person who bought it the first time, they were able to articulate it for you. You know, sometimes we will write things, you'll write things, and you get caught up in using really flowery language, and we get caught up in, you know, all of the internal stuff that has to do with our packages, and we forget to keep it clear. And the reason why I keep emphasizing this piece is because this is how your referrals come in, and referrals are such a big part of consistently selling high-end that you don't really want to not have that part of your business functioning in that way, because once it's clear, that's how you can ask people to join you on a one-to-one call, and that's how you fill your sales funnel. Okay, and I'm still excited because I can still see people joining the call, which is fabulous. Thank you all so much. So I'll just say again, if you have a question, please do *2. I will open up the lines for questions. Don't worry if you've joined late and you think, oh, I can't ask that question because Julia might have covered it already. I will answer it because somebody else might have been taking notes and not heard it. So please don't be shy. Get your questions ready, and I will open the line for questions. So I'm just going to do, one more point, and then I'll do a recap. Now, this is the bit that people always giggle at when I say your high-end package needs to have a name that makes sense. Oh, my word. Your high-end package needs to have a name that makes sense. And I've said it twice because it is that important. So, when you're naming, I suggest to give it a results-based name. It is tempting to give it a very glamorous, exciting name. And I get that because a lot of you all on the call work in a creative way. You run passion-based businesses and you sell skills and services, and you get very excited and you're very good at what you do. And the temptation is there to name your high-end offer something wild, wonderful, and exciting too. The downside to that is you're naming your package for you, and you're not naming your package for the people who are actually going to buy it. And that's when you spend all this time creating an offer that nobody wants to buy. So one of the keys to a high-end package, to your VIP day, to your intensive, to your retreat, that clients will want to buy is a name that makes sense, or results-based name. And a few examples are, there's Jason, the Juice Master, and one of his books is called 7 Pounds in 7 Days. If you want to lose 7 pounds to fit into a little black dress in 7 days, you are going to grab that book and you're going to juice till you can't drink green juice anymore, because it's a results-based name. It makes sense. It is not the nutritional value of liquefied food as opposed to chewing it, because who's going to buy that? 7 pounds in 7 days, yes, thank you. So other examples are, and I've literally just put these together for the purposes of the call. So if you want to borrow one of them, and please let me know. Look good, feel good without working out. If people, I do not like to work out, but I also don't want to, just gain a never-ending amount of weight. So if you're appealing to clients who want to maintain their body weight without spending their life at the gym, look good, feel good without working out will appeal. Makeup for photo shoots. As part of your business, you have photo shoots so often. It's a different way to present yourself when you're going to be under bright lights than it is when you're going out with your friends on a night out. If you're a makeup artist and you want to attract professional women or women entrepreneurs, then makeup for photo shoots, VIP day where you take them through all of the bits and pieces, or even a half day learning makeup for photo shoots. Who's not going to want it? Another thing could be maternity dressing for women CEOs. Immediately, women CEOs are going to go, that is what I want. Because they know that I need to make sure that I still maintain professionalism. I don't just want to wear suits all throughout my pregnancy, but I'm also a woman CEO, so I need to make sure that, I'm appropriately dressed. If you're a stylist and you're going to show someone how to feel confident, how to dress themselves throughout their pregnancy, and they're a woman CEO, of course they're going to want to come to you and they're going to want to invest at that high level. And remember I said we're talking about £3,000, £5,000, even £10,000. I promise you it can be done. So that is step 4. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to recap, because I know a few people have joined a bit late. So I'm going to recap all of the steps, and then I'm going to open up the line for questions. And I really don't want to keep you any longer than the 60-minute mark. So get your questions ready. You can start typing them in the Q&A box. So while I do the recap, I can have the questions coming in, because they take a few minutes to come in on the call. And I said earlier, if you want to ask a question, just do *2 to raise your hand, and I will unmute you, and then you can ask your question live, or you can type in the box. It's entirely your call. So I had said earlier on that there are 4 main stages. This is a quick recap. There are 4 main stages to designing a high-end offer, a VIP day, a retreat, an intensive that your clients want to buy. Step 1 is prospects, identifying who is going to pay for premium services. So who do you want to work with high-end? Step 2 is positioning. Where does your offer sit in your industry, and how do you use it to position yourself as an expert? Step 3, which is the bit that we went into detail on tonight, is the packaging, knowing what people will pay premium fees for, what to include in your offer to make it attractive. And we're going to talk about step 4 very quickly at the end, profit, how to price your offer so you make it easy for clients to buy. So in terms of step 3, the packaging, 1, your high-end offer needs to solve a specific problem. There is a difference between helping people get or build a website that converts and building a website for first-time authors who are launching their first book online. And that's how specific your high-end offer needs to be, because clients do not pay for generic, and they end up comparing you on a price basis in the marketplace because they're not seeing that you're going to solve their specific problem. So step 2, in terms of creating a high-end offer your clients will buy, is your high-end offer needs to be simple. Simple to buy and simple to use. Look at ways that you can simplify the process so that clients can go, yes, that's what I want. Can you make it virtual? Can you pre-record parts? Can you give your clients bits to work on even before they're in the room with you? I use the example of a makeup artist. If someone comes to you and they've just had their face done and you've done false eyelashes for them and they love it, wouldn't it be lovely if they could take away a DVD that you've pre-recorded of how to apply the eyelashes and how to do the contouring that you would have done with them in the day for themselves? Make the offer simpler. Your high-end offer also needs to be clear. And this is really important for referrals, because once your offer is clear, other people will then start sending clients to you because they will be able to explain what comes out of working with you. So your outcomes need to be really clear, and how you're delivering it needs to be really clear. So are clients going to lose 10 pounds in a week? Will they be able to do their own makeup for photo shoots? You know when you see a sales page sometimes for a home study program and it says, at the end of this course, you will be able to, and they name the 5 points. That's how clear your high-end offer needs to be. And you need to be able to articulate that in a one-to-one enrollment conversation, because chances are slim that somebody's going to go on your website and click a link and spend £3,000. You need to be able to have a conversation with them. And, look at how clear you are on how you deliver your high-end offer. And the last piece we looked at was giving your high-end package a name that makes sense, a results-based name. Is it going to be look good and feel good without working out? Avoid what I called wild and wonderful names that are very creative and very fluffy and sound really sensible to you, but doesn't translate to the people that you're trying to reach. And I like to use myself as an example because I want you to know that I practice what I preach, as it were. I walk my talk. So I'd said earlier on that this call was meant to be part of Price to Sell, and Price to Sell, the places have actually gone. So I will tell you how you can get my input just after I take the questions if you've missed out on Price to Sell. But then I also have my package U VIP Day, and then my group program is called Your First 3 High-End Clients. So I do the same thing so people know exactly what they're going to get. So if you enroll in Your First 3 High-End Clients, then you know it's to get your first 3 high-end clients. There's nothing exciting, wonderful, and colorful about the name of it, and that's exactly what you need to model. Now, model, not copy, in your business so that clients know exactly what they're going to get from working with you in that way. So I am just checking to see if there are any questions. If you want to ask a question and you are listening via the phone, please go ahead and press *2 to raise your hand, and I will take your question live on the call. And if you want to be shy, then go ahead and type it in the Q&A box. I am refreshing the screen, and if there are questions, I will take them now. So please don't be shy. Not much point in being shy on a call like this. If you know you want to ask me a question about adding VIP days, intensives, retreats, or any other type of high-end package to your business, if you have an idea for a high-end package and you're freaking out because you think nobody's going to buy it, now is the time to get some coaching on the line around it. Don't be nervous if you think you've joined late and I may have covered it already. I will still answer the question. I can see you all on the call. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes. So if you have a question, go ahead and press *2 to raise your hand and ask a question, or type it in the box. Okay. I'm going to do a few more minutes. Everybody's being shy. Okay, right. Nobody is asking a question, so I'm going to tell you now. I've given you enough content that you can go away and start making the changes that we talked about in your package. I will also remind you that this call sums up what I've been sharing, halfway the series on creating a high-end offer that your clients will buy. It's a free video series that I've been hosting on the Julia Bernard Thompson Facebook page, so not my private profile, but the business page. So if you look it up, you can search for it on Facebook, The Income Alchemist, and all of the videos are on there, and you can subscribe to them on the YouTube channel as well, so you get the notifications when they're uploaded. And the YouTube channel is The Julia Thompson. And so this call is a halfway point in that video series. It's 21 days to create a high-end offer that your clients will buy. So you've have the content from the call and you have the content that I've been sharing in the video series. And I did share my celebration at the beginning, and I had planned on offering you the chance to join the Price to Sell program. If you want to go on the waiting list for Price to Sell, you can check it out on the website. It is juliabernardthompson.com/price-to-sell. And it is still on there because it only closed today, and it closed early because the places went. But because I had planned to host the call, I really wanted to honor those of you who had already signed up for the call. So it's now on waiting list. If you want to be put on the waiting list, you can, now I'm saying this very, very carefully, go ahead and make the first installment payment of £99. The whole program is 5 weeks online, and it's $297. That first payment puts you on the waiting list if someone pulls out of the program. If somebody pulls out of the program, you will get an email from my office saying someone has pulled out, and you would need to go ahead and make the balance payment of the next amount, and that number has just gone blank. I'm so sorry. But I really want to give you the chance, if it's something that you want to do, to go on the waiting list. And I hope I've made that really clear. If Price to Sell gets you excited, it's now waiting list only. But what I really want to offer you, to everybody who's joined the call live, is a chance to have a 60-minute complimentary call with me, privately, one-on-one, to discuss your high-end offer. And there's no strings attached. I am not going to hard sell you into anything. At the minute, to be honest, there's nothing to hard sell you into, because I've said that Price to Sell is on waiting list only. It's a chance for me to say thank you for taking the time to join the call live, and a chance for you to interact with me and get your questions answered when it comes to high-end packages, VIP days, retreats, intensives, any other high-end offer like that you have in mind for your business. To book your 60-minute complimentary call with me, you go to juliabernardthompson.com, so it's on the website, and under the coaching, you click on the tab that says complimentary session. That's it. You fill in the form, and you'll get an email back from me with a date and a time to have your session with me. No strings attached. It's my way of saying thank you. So we're at the end now. I'm going to just give you one last chance to ask a question, anything at all to do with high-end offers, to do with pricing. Oh, I've just refreshed and there are questions. Okay. So, right. Very quickly, I'm going to answer this. Hi, Julia, and I'm not going to read names. Hi, Julia, should I prepare a high-end offer even whilst I'm just starting my business? And the answer is absolutely yes. Can you all still hear me? Hello. If you can still hear me, because I think the line just went a bit wobbly, can you just do *2 and raise your hand if people can still hear me on the call? Because I don't want to be answering questions and no one can hear. Yes, people can still hear me. Fab. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. So questions have come in. Hi, Julia. Should I prepare a high-end offer even whilst I'm just starting my business? And the answer is absolutely yes. Joy, absolutely yes. High-end offers, you can start them from day one in your business. I actually teach my clients to do that. And the reason why I say absolutely yes is because it immediately positions you as an expert in the industry, and it increases your income quickly in your business, so you don't go through the whole 97-pound clients and then building up. It's actually easier to learn to enroll someone in a one-to-one conversation and sell them something that's more expensive than it is to try and sell them something at 97 pounds. And I just say 97 pounds because it seems to be that everybody says, oh, you need to sell something for less than 100 pounds. And I absolutely don't subscribe to that. Definitely add a high-end offer right from the start. And if you want to know how to do that after you've applied everything on the call, then by all means book in for one of those complimentary 60-minute sessions that I talked about just now. Next question is from Tricia, and it's, do you recommend joint ventures for VIP packages? I recommend them, but I will explain why I recommend them. I recommend that you add value by teaming up with someone who can provide something that complements your high-end package. I don't encourage that you do the delivery of your service as a joint venture, because your high-end offer is your way of positioning yourself as the expert in what you do. So, for example, Tricia, that's a really good question, and I actually talk about it in the next part of the video series, so keep watching the video series, but I will answer it here. For example, in my program, your first 3 high-end clients, you create the package, you get the description of the package, you know who you're going to offer it for, but I have a sales expert who teaches you how to enroll people on £3,000, £5,000, and £10,000 packages on a one-on-one basis, or if you're doing a speaking gig. Can I do the enrolling conversation myself? Of course, because it's how I talk to people who want to work with me. Am I an enrolling conversations expert? No. I want my clients to get expert-specific advice and coaching in that area. So I've teamed up with somebody that's what they teach, because it will complement my offer, but it doesn't take away from what I do, and my clients get the best of both worlds. So it's not going to be that we are both delivering joint in the room. My clients have me privately, and then they have this extra bonus piece, so they get a full package. I hope that answers the question. And Stephanie in San Diego asks, you mentioned you will be in San Diego. Are you conducting an event, or are you doing a meet and greet? And it's really exciting that you asked that question, Stephanie. I'm not conducting a meet and greet, but I will have one space for an intensive. I'm actually coming to a conference myself. So the time there will be for me to kind of fill myself up. I'm coming to a conference. A colleague of mine is going, and she's asked me to go with her. She's sponsoring a big conference in San Diego, and I'm supporting her. If it is that you're asking because you wanted to meet me, you wanted to have a conversation, I'm always open to saying hello and meeting people in person. It gets me very excited. If you're asking from a thinking of working with me basis, then by all means go ahead and let's talk in that 60-minute complimentary call that I mentioned. And, you know, it would be nice to just get to know where you are. You might even be able to give me some recommendations for San Diego, because I've never been. But for now, I'm not doing an event. It's only one spot for an intensive, because most of the time I will be at a conference myself. So I'm just going to make sure that there are no other questions. I'm going to refresh and just check that no one else has put their hand up to ask a question. And just to make sure that there are no other questions coming, because I was just about to close the call and there were other questions coming in. Oh, people are telling me yes, they can still hear me, which was fab. Okay, last 5 seconds. So remember I said this call was meant to be part of the launch of Price to Sell, but Price to Sell The places went quicker than I thought, and I still wanted to honor my commitment to you and host the call. If you want to go on the waiting list for Price to Sell, the link is juliabernardthompson.com/priced, and priced has a D on the end, PRICED -2-sell, and that's TO, and then -SELL. And you can do the first installment of £99. I will refund you if no places become available, and if a place becomes available, then I will. My PA Valerie will email you and let you know how you can go ahead and confirm your spot. But waiting list or no, everyone on the call, as my way of saying thank you, is welcome to go ahead and go to juliabernardthompson.com. Go on the coaching tab and apply for a complimentary 60-minute session with me. No strings attached. There is nothing to offer you at this time. So rest assured, it's just me and you on the call for 60 minutes. And so please go ahead and apply for that as my way of saying thank you. So I've just checked again. There are no more questions. I have lots of thank yous coming in. And I want to say thank you all so much for joining me on the call, and I really appreciated that you've taken the time to join live. So that's us for tonight, and I hope that you go away and create a VIP day, intensive retreat, or other high-end offer that your clients want to buy. So thank you so much, and have a good night or have a good evening if you're joining us from the Caribbean or the U.S. Thank you again. God bless you all. Bye.